Speaking Truth. I'm your host, Tanise. What's up? How we doing? Um, Wet, dreary, and raining here. Hope everybody is doing good today. Um, Today's topic is temptation. Not too sure if I've ever did this topic. If I did, hey, let's do it again. It's all right. When I do topics like this, I like to give a definition and so we can stay on track about what we're talking about. Okay, so today's topic is temptation. Definition is to have a desire to do something that may be deemed wrong or unwise. Okay, so I'm just throwing that out there. Um, let's get into it. Okay, so temptation. I don't know why I was thinking about this or why it was even on my mind, but I started thinking about the different levels of temptation, both seen and unseen, if that makes any sense. Um, what that look like, what that consists of, so that it's relatable. Okay. Um, Temptation. I'll just start off by saying that one of the biggest misconceptions to me when it comes to marriage is the massive amounts of temptation. Okay? I can speak to this because I've been married. I've also played a part in the ending of my own marriage. Um, so that's why I could speak about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have too much to say. What I realize now, looking back, is it was always there. It was always present. Even when I wasn't aware, it was there, you know. And I don't think I actually thought that it was an issue or a potential problem with my marriage at the time, but it absolutely was. And I remember Miss Sylvia, man, may she rest in peace. She was my neighbor, and I remember her telling me when I had moved to this development, this complex, um, hey, keep an eye on your husband. Watch these women. They want what you got. And I don't think that nobody had ever said that to me before. So I think I just kind of dismissed it. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. I ain't worried about nothing. That nigga ain't crazy, okay? But I quickly learned that she was so right, but it didn't make sense. I didn't believe it was possible for somebody to step in and take what I felt like was mine. Okay? I also feel like that's the issue when you start feeling like, oh, mine's, that control and possessive response and behavior. Um, Guilty. I had a very distorted view of marriage anyway from the beginning. So I think that's why a lot of stuff that was being told to me or being advised um, of me um, completely went over my head. Because in my mind, it's like, well, shoot, I already got the man. I already got the last name. We already then solidified the relationship. We married. And I thought that that was enough. I thought that that was going to sustain the marriage. I later found out after I came down off of this high that I was on, because that's what I felt like it was. Because there is no way I thought that one day of happiness was going to be a lifetime. Okay, let me say that again. I'm not saying that it's not possible for you to be happily married. I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying don't get caught up in the thought process of because y'all was happy on that day, that's how every day gonna be. Okay? I'm just telling you because you gonna Boy, when that helium come out that balloon and you come back down from whatever cloud you on and reality set in, you gonna be frustrated. You gonna be angry. You gonna be ticked off because it's not even close to that. Marriage is like a job. You know what I'm saying? Between two people, they get up every day, they work towards it, they put in the effort, they make it happen, right? Because they want the relationship to last, to sustain itself. Um, but if only one party is willing to show up or do what's required, that it's hard for the two to have both effort, a, a choosing, if you will, to stick around. Okay? I'm not suggesting nobody be in nothing that they shouldn't be, something that's unhealthy and toxic and dysfunctional. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when you got two people that love each other and they are committed, that means they wake up every day deciding whatever it is that we go through today, we gonna deal with it, get through it, and love each other anyway. That's a choice. Um, I tried to ride that for a little while. Okay, within my marriage, just love them anyway. But I ain't gonna lie. Once temptation really set in, oh baby, whatever I thought before that, that went right out the window. And this is not about blaming myself. This is about ownership. I had allowed what was going on with him, what he had decided and chose to do within the marriage, take me to a level that I knew that I was going to have to answer for later. Okay? What do I mean by that? The temptation had set in. I had let him do what he do more than once. Okay? And I just was like, nope, that's my husband. I ain't leaving. It is what it is. We'll get through it. It is what it is. I didn't realize that he was comfortable with doing it. So how was it going to stop or end when he was cool with it? You know, here I am. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what I can do to try to get us back on track. Mind you, I'm the only one that's trying to fix it. Or so I thought. Maybe I wasn't really doing enough. Or nothing at all. I don't know. I was young. Okay? Once I had allowed him to get away with so much stuff over and over and over again, I was angry. I was like, man, temptation had been all around me the whole marriage, you know, but at some point, something clicked where I was like, no, I'm going to make him feel how he making me feel. Was it an accurate or correct click that happened? Absolutely not, looking back. But I'm just telling you what kind of mindset I was in. I was furious. I was angry. I couldn't believe that I had allowed so much stuff to happen. And I wasn't creating boundaries and standing on them. The disrespect was at an all-time high. But then I turned around and disrespected myself by allowing temptation to set in and for me to actually entertain it. Okay? I had to deal with that. And I did. And most people wouldn't have gone about it the way I did, but in the end, it's my truth. And when I realized that the person who had tempted me the most, that I actually entertained them, wasn't going to tell it, then I was like, well, I'm left with accountability first and truth. No matter what is going on, truth. It may be uncomfortable, it may hurt like hell, but I had to. We woke up this morning, have the best day you can have. Tomorrow is not promised to no one. Thank you, one love. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, once I allowed myself to do the same as him, I knew that the relationship was over. I knew it. It was over even before that. If I was smart, I wouldn't even entertain that. I would have waited until the marriage was dissolved first before I decided to entertain anybody or see anybody else. Or, because what I learned through that experience is two wrongs don't make a right. So see, that's just the example of temptation and how it can change the trajectory of your life and the direction that you headed in. I also learned that whatever he was dishing out, he couldn't handle when I started trying to give it back to him. Because that's what we do as women. We multiply whatever energy and behaviors from the person we with. We multiply that, and then we issue it back out. He couldn't handle that. That was one time I did something and actually admitted it. And it was like, oh no, we ain't better work through this. This is after infidelity that took place on his part multiple times, and I still stayed, and I still tried to work on my marriage. I didn't want to become another statistic. But this is my mindset. It's like, statistic, that's the least of your worries. You out here being disrespected, embarrassed, walked on. And the only response you can give is, that's my husband. Please, ladies. Yes, have the desire for somebody to be committed to you, but don't be nobody's fool. Okay? Yes, marriages can be a beautiful thing if the two parties work at it. But don't be one of them people who out here trying to chase this illusion of the house with the white picket fence and the hood. I'm not saying that you can't have that. I'm just saying don't have that with somebody that don't want that. They may have said they do, but pay more attention to what they do versus what they say. Just like any other situation or scenario. Okay? Don't be no fool to nobody, not even yourself. I learned a lot from that relationship, walking away. I learned what I did wrong. I learned what not to do in the future. I learned what I don't want in a relationship or marriage. I learned a lot. Yeah, it was hard and difficult. It wasn't what I thought it would be. But you live and you learn. I'm no longer holding nothing against him. I don't have no feelings. This is 13 years later. So now if I can't get over it or get past it or get through it after over a decade, then yeah, I probably should have fought more. But when it was done, it was done. It wasn't a conversation that I wanted to have to gain closure, to try to fix it, nothing. I'm one of them people, when I'm done, I'm done. And it may take me some time for my brain to catch up with the rest of me. But when I'm through, I'm done. I'm no longer looking for the things I was when I was younger. I don't feel like nobody owe me that. When something is done, it's over. Just be yourself. Be for the real life goes on. Move on. Yeah. And I have. Ain't no going back, but we talking about temptation and giving examples of what that looks like. Temptation. To choose a different route. than the one that you used to, and find out that that was the wrong move for you, and you didn't make that decision or choice based off of fact or evidence, you temptation. And that's what they talk about in the book. The temptation of doing what it is you want to do versus what you've been told. Temptation. I watched TikTok not too long ago. It talked about this little challenge they got where they give a baby something that they like in their hand and tell them to hold on and wait. Don't eat it till they come back. Temptation. Them babies be sitting there trying to contain themselves and not eat whatever it is they've been given until the parent come back. And that's hard. I'm watching babies struggle to do it. So I know that temptation definitely affects grown-ups without a question. Just because it look good don't mean it's good for you. Just because it feel good don't mean it's for you. Just because you want something don't mean it's supposed to be got or for you to have. Know the difference between temptation and guidance. Okay? Those are two different things. Well, know the difference. Truth be told. Yep. Know the difference. Temptation can look like something that's beneficial to you, positive for you, the whole nine. Then you go ahead and entertain, indulge, and follow through with that temptation, and you figure it out in the midst of it. Now it's too late because you already decided that's what you was going to do. And then you find yourself having to learn the hard way. What the young people say, fuck around and find out. Be smart. Take enough time to analyze and sift through everything that's going on in your life so that you can make a conscious decision based off of fact and not feeling. Because temptation is got everything to do with them feelings. Mess around and temptation be pulling at them heartstrings. You be like, yeah, this is for me. No. It be your feelings, your emotions that get you in the most trouble because they temporary. I've spent a lot of time in my life making decisions based off of how I feel. And I realized in 20 minutes after that, I don't even feel like that no more and can't even tell you why I felt like that in the first place. It was just easier to do. Don't be the person who choose what's easier because the latter is a challenge or unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Don't be that person. Because it ain't going to help you. It's actually going to delay you and it's going to hurt you. And I know that none of us is intentionally out here just doing that to ourselves. Or are we? Recognize that delay don't mean denied. And that's something I had to learn. Because there's going to be some temptation that show up right before you about to get whatever it is you trying to get. This the part that tripped me out when I figured that out. I was like, oh my goodness. Everything that looks good may not be good for you. One love, yep. Facts. once I figured out what part I was playing in it all, oh man. A reality check happened. Some stuff set in, you be like, at least I know I was. I can't really speak on other people, but you know, I'm in a space and a season in my life where I have to own my shit. Ben had to do it, but I'm standing on business now about myself. Even having to check myself if necessary, so I can continue on with healing and growing. Because it's you can't shortcut the process. And I think a lot of people have really been thinking or believing that that's true. No, you cannot shortcut the process. And it is a process, an uncomfortable one too, an ongoing one too. You know, just doing something right now that's going to sustain the rest of your life. No, that's wake up every day and decide to do thing. Yeah, you can wake up angry, but for what? It's a choice for you to be happy. Understand that it takes less muscles in your face for you to use to smile than it do for you to be mad or angry. Also, to learn how to listen to yourself. Your body has a voice. When something don't feel right to you, it's probably because it ain't. When something seems too good to be true, probably because it is. Don't ignore and dismiss that voice. It's there for a reason. It's to help you be able to navigate and maneuver through life. I'm going to continue to say that this life is about learning how to pivot and adjust. I know that sounds simple as hell, but I'm just saying. It's simplified. Pivot and adjust. And yes, one day at a time, because you can't worry about the days ahead of that. That's when you set up anxiety inside yourself. When you start worrying about too far advanced in the future, no. You absolutely can only deal with what's going on right now, today, in the present moment. And a lot of us, the days is going by fast. We ain't even, by the time we try to get some enjoyment, it's gone. Temptation. When you was a child, you was tempted to try and touch and mess with everything. It's just human nature. That's how we learn what not to do and what to do. Using our senses. Temptation. Your mama told you don't touch that stove. But you touched it anyway. And then as soon as it got hot enough to heat that hand up, you start crying. Temptation. You heard your mama say don't touch that stove, but you still had to try. You still had to see. I don't know why we like that as human beings. Wake up in the morning, have the best day you can have. Let no one upset your day. Tomorrow's not promised to no one. Thank you. One love. No, for real. But a lot of us is more consumed with temptation than we are with reality. And that's why we having such a hard time right now. Stop trying to avoid yourself and the work that's necessary for you to feel whole, and for stuff to make sense. I avoided this path and this journey for a long time. And all it did was burn me out, wear me out, tire me out, exhaust me. Stop letting temptation dictate your movements in life. And I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. You still, every now and then, you still got to remind yourself. You still got to do some self-analyzing. You still got to do some checking. You still got, yeah. You letting everybody else do it at your job, your boss, your supervisor, the manager. Why you can't do that with yourself? It's just a suggestion, I'm just saying. Learn how to decipher between what has been created as an illusion versus what reality is. Temptation is an illusion to make you think that it's what's best. Dressed all up in a nice little wrapping with a bow on it, and you be like, yeah, that looks so appealing. It's got to be good for me. No. Please don't get too caught up on the outer appearance of things more than you take the time to try to see what's in it. What's a person's intentions? What's a person's personality? Is they being honest and upfront? You see what I'm saying? You should be more worried about what's inside of the packaging than you worried about what the packaging look like. Because both something good and something bad can both be dressed up very well. And if you don't possess enough intuition to recognize between the two, you're going to pick the wrong package. Yep, you thought you ordered something. Well, the picture said this and that. Then you get it and you open it up. You like, hey, wait a minute. This ain't even what I ordered. That's temptation. That's what it'll do to you. It'll line your ass up to get played. Don't get played out here being naive or just downright ignorant. Who somebody told you they was is exactly who they is. Stop trying to build a bear somebody. Don't let temptation ruin what you got going on. That's what I'm getting at. Because sometimes we ruin stuff for ourselves because we made the wrong choice. And then we want somebody to blame or to put it on, and you can't because you got to own that. You made the wrong choice. It don't mean it's the end of your life, but you still need to learn something from making the wrong choice. You are already on the right track. Keep on speaking your peace of mind. Free yourself. Yep. Yep. Yes, I sure am. And sure will. It's just the beginning. I'm just getting started. I feel okay. I feel like I'm in my prime right now. I'm just getting started. But temptation. Let it be something that you utilize to learn from. Don't let it be the reason why you consistently dealing with one loss or downfall after another. Your body is going to tell you when something is not right, when something is not for you, when something is about to go left, all of that. Listen. And I'm telling you, you can't hear that or even recognize that when you being led by temptation. When you being led by temptation, you don't hear that voice. It's there, but temptation and took over. Temptation to have you walking off the plank. You'll be your own demise. There's a lot of people that's done it. So I hope that what little bit I was able to share today helps somebody, man. But start being aware, tap in, learn yourself. And that little voice, that intuition that warns you first before anything take place, man. That's a tool that you couldn't even put a price on if you learn how to use it in the right way. You can't put no price on that. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for tapping in today. Hey man, come back and see me this Friday at 8 p.m. for a new episode of Unspoken Truth Podcast. Until then, I'm your host, Tanise. Peace. So it shall be done. One love. Thank you. I'm so glad you joined and came and spent time with me, John. I look forward to seeing you in the future. You too. Have an amazing day.